Hey everyone, Shashank this side. I hope you all are doing well today and safe at home. As you can see on my screen, today we'll be going to discuss regarding the distributed architecture from Jenkins. Why distributed architecture is required for any organization to implement. What is the benefit of implementing the distributed architecture of Jenkins, which is also called master-slave model. So with my previous video, I've started video series on Jenkins where I showed you how to install Jenkins on CentOS system. And with this video as well, after the architectural concept, I'll going to show you how you can install Jenkins on Docker container as well. But before that, just wanted to recap what is Jenkins in general. So let's go to the slide. So Jenkins is an open source automation tool written based upon Java where you can use multiple plugins for continuous integration purposes like GitHub, Bitbucket, and rest of the repository system as well. Jenkins is used to build and test your software projects continuously, making it easier for developers to integrate changes to the project and making it easier for users to obtain a fresh build. So that how much powerful Jenkins is all about. And again, it's not like limited to developers nowadays. An infrastructure engineer or a DevOps guy can also use Jenkins because they are using to implement a CI/CD pipeline. So with the help of Jenkins, you can build and test your all projects with a continuous day-to-day routine, making yourself a easier job to contain around. It also allows to continuously deliver your software by integrating with large number of testing and deployment technologies. What does that mean? So with the help of integration from the deployment tool like Octopus Deploy or CloudFormation and rest of the deployment tools, you can do large number of continuous delivery of your software project once you have completed that particular project. So with Jenkins, organization can accelerate the software development process through automation. Jenkins also integrates with development lifecycle processes for all kind, including build, document, test, package, stage, deploy, and static analysis, and much more. So you will be going to find out multiple level of plugins which you can use within Jenkins to achieve all the objectives. One of the famous objective that most of the people use Jenkins is for CI/CD process. So with certain number of configuration steps, we'll be able to achieve our CI/CD pipeline. So if you're not aware of a project on CI/CD, please do watch my first video of this particular playlist that has a scenario of creating a CI/CD pipeline with the help of CloudFormation and Jenkins integration. Now coming back to our distributed architecture. So Jenkins follows a distributed architecture model as well, which we called as master-slave model, where we have a master node commanding all the Jenkins slave node. So you can see like I have one Jenkins master and multiple slaves. Now slaves can be installed on multiple operating system. So Jenkins 1 slave can be installed on Ubuntu, Jenkins 2 can be installed on Windows, 3 can be installed on CentOS. It's totally depend upon our requirement how we want to segregate, and as per our requirement how we want to deploy or do an integration with certain number of projects. So I have created a simple architectural diagram just to make you understand how the Jenkins distributed architecture workflow happens in an organization production environment. So for example, I have taken a developer group, GitHub repo, Jenkins master, and their number of slaves. Now developer group are the team where number of developers are working on their particular module. They will be going to check in the code in GitHub repo. So once the code has been checked in GitHub repo, Jenkins master will be going to check the GitHub repo at regular interval of time because the configuration has been done in such a way that any changes happens to the GitHub repo, Jenkins master will be going to get notified. Once Jenkins master is get notified, that number of modules has been checked in. So like 5 developers has checked in their 5 different modules for testing their environment. So Jenkins master will command our slaves that you have to perform testing of those modules and give me a report. If any of the testing fails, developer will get their report that your testing module has been failed. So you have to work on that particular module again. Same way, Jenkins Slave 2 will be get modified for testing and perform a report. Same way for Jenkins Slave 3 and the number of nodes. So again, remember, developers works on a different module. So Jenkins 1 slave can be working or testing the module based upon Ubuntu, 2 maybe on Windows, 3 maybe on Red Hat based CentOS machine. So every kind of module is getting tested with the distributed architecture model. That's how beneficial this master slave model is all about. Now the next part of it is within Jenkins master slave model, master has its own responsibility, slave have its own responsibility. What are those responsibility in general? So Jenkins master, when it comes to master responsibility, it is responsible for scheduling a job, dispatching a build to the slaves for actual execution. Jenkins also monitors slave, when to make it offline, when to make it online, depend upon the requirement. Then recording and presenting the build result, that's the responsibility of master, because all the result is getting inserted into a master as a reporting module. We can do that as well. Master instance of Jenkins can also execute build jobs directly. So it's not necessary that I have to use slave. I can build my execution job directly from the Jenkins master as well. These are few responsibilities that Jenkins master used to follow. When it comes to slave responsibility, so slave has to hear something from master. So whatever master node is commanding to the slave that you have to perform these kind of jobs, slave has to follow that particular rule. Slave can run on variety of operating system. As I said, slave 1 can run on Ubuntu, 2 can be on Windows, 3 can be on CentOS, and same way number of slaves can be run on different operating system. There is no restriction made on that particular front. Job of slave is to do exactly what they has been told to from the Jenkins master, which involves executing the build jobs dispatched by the master. As master is responsible for dispatching the jobs, same way slave has to execute those jobs which has been dispatched by the master. So that's how the architectural flow happens when it comes to Jenkins distributed architecture or master slave model. So I hope this clears the concept of how you have to design your distributed architecture within your organization. And trust me guys, this is one of the important concept that most of the organization follows when it comes to a development team, when it comes to a DevOps guy, when it comes to an infrastructure guy. Everybody is using this particular model just to make your life easier when it comes to deployment or integration with your GitHub, to check in code and then deploy as per the requirement, onboard a customer. Everything is getting used within the distributed architecture. Now, next, I just want to take an opportunity just to show you how you can install Jenkins on top of Docker container. So let's go to our AWS Management Console. I'll end the slideshow. Okay. So this is my AWS Management Console. I have to create an instance. So let's launch an instance. That will be a quick process. Error loading an AMI. What happened? Why is that? Yep. So let's go with CentOS. So this is not present in my default account. I have to grab it from Marketplace. So for any AMI which is not present in your default account, you have to go to Marketplace or Community AMIs and grab it from there. So this is eligible for a free tier. Let's select this. This will be going to show you all the detailed pricing based upon hourly basis. Okay, continue. I'll go with T2 Micro, which is free for us. My VPC, I'll go with public subnet, enable, add storage. Make sure if you're doing a demo or if you're trying to learn things, delete your storage after you done with your practical practice. Jenkins Docker demo. Review launch. Okay, so instance is getting launched now. Let me open up my terminal. So this is my terminal. I have a key present in downloads, NOATS, then archive. No. Yep. Let's grab our SSH and I have to use CentOS user. I want to connect command. So I guess still it's in running phase. No status check has been done. That's why connection has been refused. Let's try again. Yep. I want to connect. Here we go. Let's go to root. Let me maximize this a bit for better vision. Clear. There we go. So I have jotted down few commands that we have to follow to install Jenkins as container. So this is the installation of Docker first, because this is a freshly made machine. So we have to install Docker. For that, I'm going to use, first of all, yum command to install the utils and everything. I'll share all these commands in my description section, so please go through that. So let's install one by one. This is done. Next, we have to add a repo. Clear. This is done. Repo has been saved. Now install the latest version of the Docker container.io. Yum install Docker CLI. Yes. Yes. So it's trying to install the 4 modules. Let's wait for that to complete. This will be going to install the CLI as well for us. Docker CE CLI 19.03 is the latest version of Docker. That's what I remember last. So don't worry about the Docker. I have almost done with recording of my Docker video series. Mostly by end of this week, I'll be rolling out all the Docker videos. So please go through that, as everybody is using container platform. So that's why I'm trying to focus on containerization. Let's start our Docker. Docker has been started. You can check the status as well. status. It's active and running. Clear. Now time to install Jenkins. So to start with Jenkins container, we have to understand few of the commands from the Docker. To install container, first of all, we have to pull up the image of Jenkins. So we'll be going to pull up the image of Jenkins from Docker Hub. Let's grab the command. Docker pull Jenkins. This will be going to pull the latest image of Jenkins, whatever present in the Docker Hub for us. This is same like, for example, if you want to create an EC2 instance within AWS, you have to use AMI, right? For Windows instances, for Linux instances. The same way within Docker, if you want to install or configure any container, you have to pull up the image from Docker Hub. So we have the Jenkins image in our system. Now let's check the next command. This is for the installation. So for installation, like running your container in background, we'll be going to use docker run, name of the container, port on which this will be going to run. Then -d is a daemon which will be going to run your container in background. -v is for your volume mapping. So I'm going to use root Jenkins colon var Jenkins home. This will be inside the container, and I'm going to map that volume with my system volume, because I just want to have a persistent volume created for my Jenkins container. So even if I go ahead and kill my container, my data for Jenkins will be still persistent within my CentOS system. That's why I'm going to use persistent volume, mapping of system volume with my Docker container volume, and then the name of the image. So let's grab this command, paste it. This has given us an ID. Now to check whether Docker container is running or not, you have to use Docker ps. Still not running, so there is some issues there. Docker ps-a. You can see the status has been exited. I don't know why. So for that, let's remove this image, otherwise I'm not going to install with the same name, Docker rm. Then let's take the container ID. Now if you give Docker ps-a, nothing is there. Let's see what is the command that we are trying to run. Docker run name -v. Okay, I got it. So we don't have anything created inside root, or do we? So let's see the permission first. ls-la. So the permission is this one. I just need to change the permission, until unless this will not going to work for us. So let's give s777 Jenkins. There we go, full permission, clear. Now let's try to run our Docker. Where is that command? There we go. Okay, Docker ps. Our instance is running up and fine now. Now if you try to hit the URL, you'll be going to see the Jenkins portal. Okay, so the next step is a bit different. Why I have created these steps, I'll going to show you. So first of all, let's grab the public IP and try to hit our Jenkins on 8080. Jenkins portal. Now we have to get the initial password. So let's go to this location and grab our password. Okay, so for that, so let's try to go inside Jenkins folder, which is located on our CentOS system. ls cd secrets ls, and where is the password? Initial admin. Now if you see this location, where Jenkins home secrets, now this location is from the container. While running the container, I told you that I'm going to use persistent volume, which is root Jenkins mapped with container location, where Jenkins home, right? That's why we have received the password within our CentOS location itself. Now cat, this is the initial password that we have to put it over here to pass this particular page. We'll be getting now setup wizard, which we already know with my previous video. If you're not aware of it, please go ahead and check that video. That will give you a clear picture on how to install the suggested plugin. Here I'll be going to click suggested plugins. Mostly this will be going to fail. If you see, the version of Jenkins here is 2.60.3, which is not the latest as per best of my memory. That's why these are going to fail. Most of the modules will be going to fail over here. That's why I have grabbed all the commands, that how you can upgrade your Jenkins from certain version to certain version, right? So mostly it's 2.240. We'll be going to check all the errors over here, which version it's trying to relate. Now this will be going to take some time for sure. So we have to wait for a couple of minutes. It's almost done with the failure. I'm going to click continue. We have to create our first user, which is admin, password, full name admin, finish. Jenkins is ready. Start using Jenkins. This is our famous Jenkins portal. Now if you click on the error over here, you can see lot of modules has been failed, which I have showed it to you. Now it's trying to expect, if you see this, you must update your Jenkins from 2.60 to 2.164 or 2.138, right? Now what we have to do, we have to upgrade our version to the latest. Let me see what is the latest version that we have for Jenkins. Jenkins latest version. Okay, this is the stable release 2.240, which I already have over here. For that, we have to go inside to the container. To go into the container, use docker exec. Okay, for that I have to take the ID. Docker ps. Now docker exec, take the container ID and docker exec ID. Let me grab this or this one. So with this command, I'll be logging within the container as root, so that I don't face any issue with the permissions. Okay, I'm into the container itself. You can see root at container ID. Now what we have to do, we have to install, or we have to first download the Jenkins var file 2.240. I'm going to install it. I'm going to first download and then install. This is downloaded. Now we have to move the var file to this location so that this will be get deployed. We are deploying a var file. Change the permission. Here we go. And we have to exit the container and restart it. So let's exit. We are out of the container and we'll restart the container. So docker restart. This is the container ID. Enter. So Docker container has been restarted. If we go to our dashboard, we have to log out and log in again. You can see starting Jenkins. This is getting restarted in background since we have restarted our container. So this will take another few minutes to come up. Please wait while Jenkins is getting ready for you. Okay, come on. Here we go, we are done. Now we have to log in with our admin portal. The password is this one, sign in. I don't want to say the password. Let's see the error. Error has been gone now. These are certain different configuration error, which whenever you try to work on configuring the Jenkins root URL, you have to do all those things. So the most important part, the plugins error has been gone after the upgrade of Jenkins as recommended to the latest one, right? Now if you try to go ahead and check the plugins, for that go to manage Jenkins, manage plugin, these are unavailable for now. If we go to the available section, let's see what we have. This is going to take time. Let's try to search for CloudFormation. Here we have CloudFormation plugin. So you can go ahead and install this plugin. Version has been released. Installed without restart, you can do this, or download and restart from here. So this will be going to download and install the CloudFormation plugin within Jenkins. So this is how you can install Jenkins on Docker. You can upgrade the version of Jenkins from one to another within Docker. So I hope this clears a lot in terms of the architecture, the distributed architecture of Jenkins, as well as how you can install Docker container, and on top of that how you can install Jenkins as container. So with today's video we have learned certain things: the distributed architecture, master slave model, how the workflow happens, how you can install Jenkins on Docker, how you can upgrade your Jenkins container from one version to another. I hope this helps a lot in terms of a kickstart to your Jenkins study. So that's it guys for this particular video. I hope you liked it, and if you're facing any issue, just place out a comment in comment section. I'll be there to help you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.